Zach Lindsey, our very favorite lawyer, has a wonderful new product that he's going to tell us about. So please give Zach a hand and his partner, Justin.
Okay, while he's getting that set up, I'll kind of introduce ourselves. This is Zach Lindsey, most of you know him. I'm Justin Johnson. We're going to present FirmForms today. It's a legal tech startup that helps automate law firms, small law firms. Most of you, or several of you in the crowd, know me from More Branding, which is another company that I've owned. It's 11 years old now, and I guess its claim to fame is our designs are used on every continent except for one every day. So that's kind of a fun little fact. And FirmForms is a completely separate entity that Zach and I have collaborated on. I'm going to let him introduce himself now. So.
As Justin said, my name is Zach Lindsey. It's kind of odd for me to be on this side of the crowd. Normally I'm out there heckling like in the peanut gallery. So I would like to introduce to you our company, FirmForms, and we're really proud of it. But in order to tell the story of FirmForms, we kind of need to tell my story. And Justin is going to be my clicker. All right, so this guy is me. He's a lot cuter than I am. But last summer he was sitting in his office, and one week 3 different people called, and these are people that I would consider to be warm leads, friends of mine or referrals from current clients. And they asked Zach, how much is it going to cost for you to set up my LLC in Oklahoma? And after I asked them a few questions, I quoted them a price. And they said, wow, it's a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. It's less than other people had said, but I thought it would be a little bit more affordable because I can go to LegalZoom and get it done for a lot cheaper. And no matter how much I tried to explain to them, I'm better than LegalZoom, you want a real lawyer in your town, that's really important, I knew I still had a problem. And that was that I didn't have a robot. LegalZoom has a robot. In fact, they have a lot of really good robots. And that's the only way that LegalZoom can offer what they do at the price that they do is if it's all automated on the back end. So I knew I had to fix that problem, and I did that by building my own robot. So what I did was set out to create a LegalZoom type experience for clients that they could come directly to my website, engage with me online, fill out a form that they would fill out similar to what you find on TurboTax or something like that, and run their credit card at that time, pay for the service up front. I would get the documents, I would put it all together, and then contact the client. So they got that hybrid experience. And after doing that for a little while, I realized that there must be other lawyers who want this product as well. And so that's why we built FirmForms. Now, when we built FirmForms, we knew that lawyers don't like to do a lot of things. One of those is learn technology. We really don't like it. So we knew we had to take what the lawyer was already using and then apply the automation technology to that as well as the client-facing portal or platform. So that's what we did. If you're the lawyer, all you have to do is find the Word document you want to use. Our demo document is a petition for dissolution of marriage, which is a fancy way of saying the first thing you file in a divorce. So you take that document and then you highlight all the parts that would change. So things like party names, dates, locations, things like that. Take that highlighted document and then you draft questions that correspond with those highlighted sections. That might sound like a lot of work, but most lawyers have already done that because they have a client questionnaire, they have some type of intake form that you can fill out if you're sitting in their office. Take all that together, and if you choose the Plus plan, you can also upload your artwork. So that would be like your brand and your website colors. Upload that to the website, and then we get to work. We create a template document that is coded, and then we also create the web form for you, for the lawyer. And the way that shakes out is in 2 versions. We have a basic plan, which is just FirmForms branded, but it's all of your content. And then if you want to upgrade, you can have the Plus plan that is branded for your law firm using your website and your logo, or using your website colors and your logo. And what does that look like for the lawyer once it's complete, or for the client? It's fully responsive, so they can do it anytime, anywhere, as long as they have access to the link. For the actual process, once it's completed, it works like this. The lawyer gets a link from us, and they have that forever. They can put it wherever they want. So say the client calls and says, I need this done, or somehow they've contacted the attorney and they say, I need this product. The lawyer sends them the link. The client just goes to the web form, fills the information out, clicks submit. Then once that's submitted, we take that information and create the document, and we deliver that to the lawyer. We can deliver it to their inbox, to Google Drive, to Dropbox, wherever they want to receive it. So what this does is allow the lawyer to use, allow the lawyer to use their skill, their judgment, their expertise with the power of automation to deliver a better product to the client. So that you're getting that hybrid experience of the convenience of LegalZoom or a similar product, but you're also getting the judgment, the accessibility of a local attorney, somebody that you can actually hold accountable for the legal product that you're purchasing. And that results in happier clients. The clients are happier because, my wife just laughed because it's an awesome graphic. The clients are happier because they get a predictable product. They know what they're paying for up front. They're also happier because they get a higher quality product. I don't know if you know this, but most lawyers copy-paste a lot of their stuff, right? And how many times have you been showing somebody your product and it's the wrong client name or it's the wrong information? And that erodes confidence in the lawyer because the client automatically realizes that I'm not as special as I thought I was. So it leads to happier clients. It also leads to happier lawyers. And the reason why is because, let's take an example of an LLC creation. On average, if you were to draft it whole cloth and do the operating agreement yourself, you're looking at least 2 hours of work. You're meeting with the client to get their information. You're also then taking their information, maybe they come back to your office a few times to provide more stuff, and then you're drafting the document and you're also registering the company. So let's say that that takes 2 hours. Let's say your hourly rate is $250 an hour. So that's $500 to you. Well, with FirmForms, I can tell you from experience, that process is reduced to 20 minutes. So that means that if I charge $250 per transaction, I make $750 an hour as opposed to $250 an hour, which is pretty attractive to most lawyers, as I think it'd be to most people. You've noticed that, where's my lawyer? You notice that the lawyer also has a halo. And the reason for that is because FirmForms and other document automation enables lawyers to serve a population of people that are not being served. Either they're being underserved by non-lawyers that are practicing law themselves, or they're being underserved by legal form companies that have no accountability, or they're just not being served at all. So this means that those 3 clients that I otherwise would have gotten would now come to the office. And my own experience is that since I implemented this system, I've not lost a single client to LegalZoom. And so I know that it works. I know that people are looking for that hybrid experience. And so that when they sign up, I know I'm also going to get a loyalty relationship with them because they're going to come back to the lawyer that provided the service in the first place. So that, in a nutshell, is FirmForms, really quickly. You can find us everywhere. If you know what those icons are, then you know you're cool. And we're FirmForms everywhere. And so with that, I would also say, don't just direct the questions at me. Ask Justin about all the design because that's honestly the coolest part of our product.
Anybody have any questions?
Who's your ideal customer?
Solo and small firms. So firms under 10 people in the United States, that's about 627,000 lawyers.
So who owns the copy? Is this on?
Yeah.
So who owns the copyright on the form? FirmForms or the attorney?
The attorney owns all their own content. We don't own any of that content. And it's the attorney's own drafted document. So we're not selling forms at all. We're using the attorney's drafted documents.
But sometimes what you put on there becomes.
Question here in the back.
So I have 2 questions. So the first question is, how does the cost, reduction, does it break down to the client? Like I know it saves the lawyer money, but does it break down to the client? And the second question is, can you tell me about that logo? Like what is that?
It's Scott's plant. But so the cost breakdown works like this. Like I mentioned before, most lawyers charge on an hourly basis. FirmForms only makes sense to you if you're an attorney who's charging flat fees, right? Because I just told you that I took 2 hours and reduced it to 20 minutes. That doesn't make sense if I'm getting paid for how long it takes me to do something. But here's the kicker. This is the way the legal market is now, and it's maybe not here, but it's coming. And that is the clients are saying, we want to pay a definite price, and we want you to act like all the other professional services that we use, lawyers. We want you to be better business people, to be able to provide us with more predictability and a higher quality product.
So Scott's
So-
got a bill now since he asked you.
Yeah.
Okay, like I mentioned before, I have a design firm and a branding firm.
Slides.
Okay, you can do the slides.
Yeah.
And there's kind of 2 different types of designers, graphic artists, graphic designers. And there's the ones that create like really beautiful art that you want to frame and hang on your wall, or it's a great album cover, book cover. And then there's kind of my side that's more the corporate side, and I'm trying to think of how to come up with smart solutions that gives something a deeper meaning than just being cool looking or good. And I think 36 Degrees North logo does that, and how it incorporated numbers and stuff into the letter forms. But what we've done here is, this is obviously a document, an icon of a document, and if you go on to the next slide, you reduce that down to just a corner of the document. It's our double F mark, so it's like kind of cool before, but then when you get a deeper level of understanding, it's hard to forget, what it really means. Yeah. That's right. And another way to maybe think about that is we reduce your time to complete documents down to a sixth of what it could have been. So if you want to get real geeky. But so yeah, just in design, trying to put in a deeper level of meaning and understanding, that kind of aha moment that becomes unforgettable, I guess. So.
That's like Inception, 3 layers deep right there. So question then, sorry. Hey, Zach.
I heard your voice, but I didn't see your face.
So this is the best kind of company that you start, which is you have your own problem that you're solving yourself for yourself, and then seeing other people and solving those problems too. But by your own admission, people are slow to change, lawyers even more so. So how are you going to overcome the friction of changing someone's thinking, especially from a lawyer standpoint?
Education, education, education. I can tell you, for instance, I'm a lawyer, by the way. I don't know if I told you that. I'm a lawyer. I have a practice here in town. That helps a little bit to understand this. I did a continuing legal education class a few years ago on Word templates, how to create a template in Word and use the automation that's already available in Word. That changed my practice because I had the education. I didn't realize that was possible, and so that changed what I wanted to do. You don't, because you're interesting people, but if you were to go out and look at lawyer blogs and things like that, you would realize that this is the now in the legal practice sphere. Right now, everybody is has been talking about a long time, electronic practice, but now even more automation and making your firm operate more efficiently. And keep in mind, our target market is the solo and small. So giant firms, like the giant firms that are here even in town, they're never going to be FirmForms clients because they already have the machine working, and their clients don't care, frankly. Their clients are big enough to say, we might limit our budget to $1 million a year for legal, but really, if it comes to betting the company litigation, we'll pay whatever is required. We'll pay your $600 an hour, not a problem. But for the smaller client, for the smaller firm, efficiency is what it's all about. There's no way I could be a solo practitioner and have the type of business I have, which I really enjoy, if I didn't have technology tools to allow me to do that. And so the client's expecting it. It's just a matter of whether the lawyers are going to get on board. There's a quote that says, William Gibbons, I think, Walter Gibbons Gibson is his name, and he said the future is here, it's just not evenly distributed. And that's a fact for lawyers right now.
Would you go into more detail about when you're charging
Sure.
the attorneys and how much, whether it's a subscription model or what?
Yeah. So right now, keep in mind we started. I looked at when we opened our Slack channel was December of this last year, so that's how long we've been around. Right now we have a subscription model. The lawyer would pay up front. It's $99 a month for the basic, $149 a month for the plus plan. With that, you get 2 FirmForm integrations. So that means the full integration from your uploaded document all the way through the web form, and a limit around 25 for the basic plan, I think up to 100 for the plus plan on how many transactions you can run through it a month. So how many times you run that integration a month. And what was the rest of your question?
If they want to add additional forms beyond the 2, it's a $20 additional.
Right. So it's 2 forms up front, and then it's $20 per additional integration per month. What we found, though, Baron, is that after talking to some lawyers, some of them say, I don't want my client to know that I'm using this. Is there any way that I can use this as an internal document automation platform? And can you build out like 10 documents at once? So an estate planning attorney I talked to said, I have 8 documents that I file every time. I want to be able to run it one time and spits out 8 documents. So we built that. We can do that. And he wants to pay a setup fee plus a per transaction fee to us. So every time he runs it, he wants to pay a fee rather than pay a monthly subscription. And we're certainly open to that.
Hey, Zach, great stuff. I think this is really cool. I'm a lawyer, as you know, and some of the rest of you know. I know that the technology has been really slow, so here on that. In fact, I would be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if there's still some lawyers out there writing Windows 95 and.
Or using WordPerfect.
Hopefully not Windows 95. But a question, for the people that are probably, and I don't mean to be ageist here, but I'm in advance of a lot of people here in age, but for the people that are younger, more tech savvy, they've also put in place billing software. Do you have plans for APIs or something so that you can interface some of the input of the client data with some of the billing software that's out there for small solo firms, et cetera?
Absolutely. Right now, using Zapier, we can integrate with the most popular legal SaaS product, which is called Clio. That's what I use. And we can actually do that now. So if somebody came to the website and they were filling out a FirmForm web form, and when they hit submit, we could create a contact card in Clio automatically, as well as do the document automation. So we're already thinking through that process. And just to give a little bit of a window into our business model, we're looking for them as a potential acquirer of FirmForms. We think this would be a great dovetail product into a practice management, larger practice management software.
All right, also, as someone who would use this product, demographic, I wasn't sure quite how it works. Is it just filling out where you have one document and it just fills in where it is, or is there a way where there's a lot of options? So one example I was thinking of is I do wills, even though I'm not necessarily practicing now, I still do them for friends and family and stuff. But a lot of them is if you have kids or if you've been in the military or all these things, definitely change if this then this. And I've having a loaning product like this to make it easier for me to help out, be able to do stuff like that. So is yours just a fill in, or can you put it in there where it does have a whole bunch of criteria that you can do?
Yeah, we can build logic into the form tool that we use, and we would like to do even more of that. That product exists for you, by the way. It's $5,000 up front, or sorry, $3,000 up front, $500 a month. So you can go get that if you want it, but it only works on Windows and it's not web-based, and the client can never see it. See what I did there?
I'm a member here at 36 Degrees North, and I am the sole owner of a new PLLC as an independent nurse consultant. And actually, you've convinced me more so that I'm just going to go ahead and do my own operating agreement.
Okay, can you explain more what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, I can get to download the forms, and you're saying here that it's a lot of copy and paste. So I've already looked one over, and I think I could probably just do that myself.
You're welcome to do that, but that's the risk that you would take. So
Sure.
you're not our client's customer.
I know.
What we're looking for is the people that say, I would like the surety of a lawyer
Yes.
to look over my documents, and I would be able to actually hold that lawyer accountable for the things that they do.
Right.
So here's the way it breaks down. LegalZoom charges $416 to do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I do it personally, and other lawyers like me can do it for $350.
Okay.
So that means that you can pay less for a real lawyer that you can sue if things go poorly
Uh-huh.
than you could go to LegalZoom who you have no accountability to whatsoever.
Okay.
So I think when lawyers, we need to give lawyers those tools to be able to tell their clients or potential clients, that's what your value proposition is. Lawyers, you can go out and be a true competitor and offer better service than non-lawyer form companies and actually improve the quality of the practice of law and improve the quality of our businesses and our families and all these other people. By offering services to people that otherwise would say is too expensive or I don't see the value.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah, I'll wait. First of all, Zach, I'm a huge Zach Lindsey fan. You know that.
You should see his tattoo. It's true.
So this is awesome, and also the graphics, like I'm on your website right now, and they're gorgeous. So shout out to you for that. But my question is there a level of complexity of legal work to where FirmForms kind of has like a cap as far as like the complexity of the stuff? And then with that, what kind of percentage for like a small firm that kind of you're catering to, what percentage of their business is within kind of what FirmForms can service, and then what is out of
Sure.
that?
A great example of that is family law. And there's a guy next to me in my office suite who practices family law, and he does all flat fees. So family law is kind of a mix. It is rote in that it's the same documents you file to start the case every time. So divorces is what I'm talking about. But after the case gets started, you really need a lawyer to go to court for you and to really assist you with all the future proceedings and anticipate all the things that are coming along. So what he does is he says, okay, I honestly don't know his pricing, but I'm just going to use round numbers. For $2,000 up front, I will draft all of your pleadings, I'll file everything for you, and I will show up at the first status conference. If we have to have a hearing in the meantime, you're going to pay another $1,500. If there's this other contingency, like extended discovery or something like that, it's another $1,500. And then if we have to go to trial, it's another $5,000. So he's already built into his practice the flat fee gated kind of a lockstep process. So FirmForms is great for him because he can have his client just submit client information that gets translated into all of the initial pleadings. So for that $2,000, he's done a half hour's worth of work max. In terms of the actual review time it takes for him to use his judgment and make changes. By the way, the documents are delivered in Words. The lawyer can still change anything in the document that they want. So to answer your question is yes, there's a limit, but I think that FirmForms can still be an integral process that assists the lawyer within those limits. Now for litigation, for highly complex investment documents, things like that is not going to be a good fit, but usually those lawyers aren't facing the same kind of challenges that our FirmForms client would.
Okay, so first of all, I know you said that this software is primarily for lawyers and attorneys and stuff, but I'm thinking as a business owner, I don't know if you're planning to do this in the future, but to have a consumer side of this where, as a business owner, I can say, okay, I have contracts, like I'm an artist, so you know that. So I've got different services, and they all have different criteria, different checkpoints, different workflows. And so it would be helpful for me if I had a service that I could go on and I could be like, okay, well, I've got this service, so I want to make a contract for this thing. It needs to be specific to what I have. Is there some kind of build-out plan for a questionnaire that you could draft so that I can have specific documents for me for what I need, and then you could have like a reservoir so I can, always tap those every time I need it for each specific service that we do.
So the long-term vision is we can go deeper into the vertical of legal. There's lots more areas of a legal firm that we can automate and help bring efficiency to. We can also go horizontal. We've had several suggestions, just like you have. For instance, I have the branding firm, and we do a creative brief every time we start a new project with a new client. It's basically the same questions, whether it's a for-profit or a non-profit entity. And how I've been doing those was just emailing them a document. Some of them print out, write it down, and then fax it back. Some fill it in the Word document. Some people just write their answers into an email and send it back, and the document's not there at all. And it's really difficult to take all that information and populate it into one thing because you have to retype if they wrote it. Where for a design firm, you could put that online and say, okay, I've got a place for you to go. Just fill out this information, and it's all formatted the exact same way. It's easy to pull it into a different program if you want to extract certain words and things like that. So that's one way. We've also had a major energy firm here in town that's looking to we're going to meet with them next week and figure out if it can be used for engineering requisitions.
Everything.
Yeah, it could really go anywhere. And then we've had suggestions for veterinary clinics, for doing the intake form on your pet before you go to the vet. The way it's there waiting for you when you get there, and you don't have to sit on the clipboard of fun and write it all down while you're sitting in the lobby and trying to hold your dog and all that stuff too. So.
Also, Scott, another thing I think you're touching on is law firm automation and AI. So that's happening as well. So I think in the next 20 years, for sure, probably sooner than that, transactional lawyers will be kind of a thing of the past, except for highly complex or unique transactions. For the most part, what's going to happen is you're going to go to a website of a law firm, perhaps, or a non-law firm company like FirmForms, and you're going to fill out all the things that you need, and there will be logic built into the form. You can say, I am a this, and I do that, and these are the, and you put in the terms and everything else, you hit go, and that automatically spits back to you. That is coming. There are companies working on that. We want to be a part of that.
So, in the 4 months that you've been in business, how successful have you been at customer acquisition? And
terrible. Terrible. We actually haven't started taking on customers. We've only been meeting with people to get their feedback and see if they want to sign up. Can you sign up today? Absolutely. It's open in the sense that you could subscribe today if you want to.
Most of you guys know I'm into real estate, but I'm also fire life. I'm a computer security guy, building firewalls and stuff for NSA. My question to you is I'm going to a web form, putting stuff in that I've intended for my attorney on your servers, and that information gets packaged up into a Word document, gets dropped into some repository at that law firm. What security have you put in place to make sure that client confidentiality doesn't get breached? And what liabilities are you taking on because the data is in multiple places and that client may not know that at that point?
Sure, it's all HTTPS secure, end-to-end security with everything that we use. The lawyer's responsible for the information that they get. And we don't actually hold client information in the Word document. That goes to the lawyer. We don't actually have that. So that's not something that we keep.
You're not storing the data?
No.
Okay.
Obviously, it is stored somewhere along the way. I mean, we all know that nothing ever disappears, but.
It'll be interesting to see if you're charging enough, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're really meeting a need and you're really capturing value, depending on the size of the company, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, as a starting point, I get kind of coming in, but I'd almost wonder. I mean, you want to, if somebody's got a $250 or $500 problem, and you're giving them a $50 solution, you could probably capture a little bit more money and revenue and something like that. So
100%, we completely agree with that. But we also didn't want to offer it for free to get users because we actually want to improve the market and see if people will pay it all. But absolutely, we'd love to charge $10,000 a month for it. And it'd be a steal at that price.
All right, Zach. Final question for you, as we do every week, as you know, is what can the 1 Million Cups community in Tulsa do for you?
Bam. Well, we anticipated this question. So we have a survey that we'd like you to take. Do not worry, you're not going to be put into a drip campaign. You're not going to get annoying emails nagging you to sign up or anything like that. Just go here, firmforms.com/feedback. There's some questions about our presentation, about the overall effectiveness, the story of the company, and whether or not you think this is a viable product, as well as a request for other areas where you could see this being implemented easily. Obviously, laws are first because that's what I know, and I think it's the easiest pitch I can make because I scratched my own itch with this product. But like Justin said, we've had inquiries from other industries like engineering, and we would like to know if there are other places that somebody else might be the version of me in their industry, and they want to automate some of that. We'd love to meet with them. And finally, we have bagels for whoever wants in the boardroom afterwards. So if you didn't get to answer your question or ask your question now, you want to chat more, just meet us in there afterwards.
Yeah, and you can do the feedback form like on your phone, or you don't have to get all the way back to the office to do it if it's more convenient and it's fresh on your mind now. You could just log in right now and well, not really log in, just go there and give us the feedback. So it's the most important part of the thing we're doing today, I think. So.
Yep.